Well, this brand provides a quick fix to itchy skin and hopes to help those suffering from conditions that affect the largest organ. Balm co-founder Jason Humphries tells us more on the final word. He's based in Singapore and joins us now in Manila. How are you, Jason?
I'm very happy to be in Manila, and thanks for having me, Rico.
All right, Jason, tell us, how important is the Philippine market for your skin cream brand?
Okay, well, we're in ASEAN. We're an ASEAN company, and everybody knows the Philippines just crested 100 million people. And what 100 million people? The place has got energy, dynamism, a young population, the economy is on a tear. And if you want to have a brand in ASEAN at this point, you must be here.
You set up in Singapore, Malaysia, and now in the Philippines. Are you planning to expand to the even bigger markets like Indonesia?
Yes, we've just incorporated our business in Indonesia. It was after the Philippines. It's a complicated country.
And what do you think is the edge of Balm as a skin cream brand vis-a-vis the other brands? I mean, there are quite a number of skin cream brands in the market.
Well, you know, you'd have to be mad to launch another moisturizer, wouldn't you? There's thousands of them.
Yes.
So myself and my co-founder met a very, very accomplished physician at Singapore's National Skin Centre. He focuses on itch, and anyone with sensitive skin or anyone who's had an itch knows you want to get rid of it straight away. All the other creams on the market that were good moisturizers didn't stop the itch in a couple of minutes. So he spent 3 years developing a product that when you put it on sensitive skin, it's not just good for the skin, but it stops the itch quickly. With that, in Singapore and Malaysia, we have now overtaken many of those household brands to be number 2 in market, number 3 in market in Singapore and Malaysia.
Yeah, I mean, you're up against the multinationals who have big budgets, right? To compete in the market. I mean, they're in advertising, they're in social media, they're on television. So you really have to have that edge if you really want to market a new brand in this space.
So number one, you need a product that performs. And we have research that tells us that amongst the competing brands, Balm gets more word of mouth and more repeat purchase than any other brand. That means people want to tell their friends about it and they buy it again. So I guess that's the proof.
And what are the contents of Balm?
So we're in a hot, sweaty environment in ASEAN. It's humid. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So you want to have light and non-sticky, but you still need high performing. So there has these incredible lipids called ceramides, and Balm has more of them than any other brand, and they're skin identical. They're the premium ones. So that's really good for your itchy, dry skin. But to get rid of the itch, it's a very, very simple ingredient that many Filipinos will know. It's menthol. Menthol is that cooling agent.
Yes.
You know, underneath it, there's some science. The physiology is it interferes with a nerve that stops the itch signal going to the brain. And that's how it works profoundly and quickly.
And I'm sure a lot of our viewers want to find out, does this skin cream brand of yours have any side effects?
Right, so Balm is a cosmetic. It doesn't have any steroids in it. It's not a medicine. And every ingredient that goes
Is it all natural?
It's the menthol, the ceramides are all natural, and they're the really important pieces. The Philippines has a great FDA. You saw that through COVID. And the FDA approves every cosmetic that comes to market, and Balm is well approved by the FDA here, the European Control Agency, and now the FDA in the US.
All right, you're up against, as we've been discussing, vis-a-vis the top multinational pharmaceutical brands. How are you marketing Balm in the Philippines?
We take a deep breath. Look, you know, everyone will tell you it's about influencers and a pretty lady.
That's right.
But that's like cherry blossom. It goes very quickly. So one of the things that we've started to do in the Philippines is put kiosks into some of your big malls. So at Mega Mall, at North Edsa Mall, You can now talk to Balm beauty advisors about your skin. They're not going to make you more beautiful, but if you've got sensitive skin, they're going to help you. We also have done lots of work over the last 5 years with the Philippine Dermatology Society and dermatologists in the Philippines. So many dermatologists here already recommend Balm to their patients.
And Jason, just taking a look at the back of your packaging, there are quite a number of ingredients that you use for Balm.
Yes.
And of course, we know over the past year, prices have gone up, inflation has soared. How are you keeping your costs down with all of these ingredients plus your manufacturing?
Okay, so there's one thing that is great for consumers about Balm. On the front of the pack, it says from the National Skin Center in Singapore. And our agreement with them is that Balm must be reasonably priced for consumers. They would not put their name on the front of a pack that was overpriced. So it may limit our margin, but I'm more than happy to get the credibility and endorsement of the National Skin Center and get more volume and take less margin. So we have put our prices up by a low single digits over the last year, just as ingredients moved up, but nothing like the competitors.
You know, Jason, I've known you for many years.
Indeed.
Your wife was a colleague of mine at a global news network for close to 2 decades. And I know that you are an executive of a leading pharmaceutical brand previously. Why did you decide to be an entrepreneur and just venture on your own when you could have stayed in the pharmaceutical business?
You know, at some point, you have to follow your muse. I think you probably always knew you wanted to be a journalist from the age of 10. I think it just took me a little bit longer to know that maybe the corporate life wasn't quite for me. And the last 10 years of building Balm with a great partner and building a great team, both across ASEAN, but particularly in the Philippines. And when it's your own baby, there is nothing like it.
And you're very passionate about what you do.
Indeed.
And okay, Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, next stop, Indonesia, next stop, the world.
Yep. This year we go on to Amazon in the United States. And interestingly, as we sell in the Philippines, of course, so many Filipinos have relations around the world.
10 million of them.
Exactly. How do I get this in the UK? How do I get this in America? Right.
Word of mouth.
Yes.
Spreading the Balm brand through the Filipino community.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word, and all the best with Balm.
Thank you so much, Rico.
Jason Humphries, co-founder of Balm.